Get your ass out of bed!
That's right.
You're not down on the farm.
Oh, I was going to say, it's Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition down on the farm.
Petticoat Junction.
That's right. We're out there. Rooster wakes us up. We got to go out and get the eggs, milk the cows.
How else do we get all this food we got to fry up?
Slaughter the hogs to get your bacon.
Yeah. How else are we going to get all this food to fry up for your stupid, lazy ass after you went out last night and got hungover, got rejected multiple times?
Because like we always say, we have to fucking do everything.
Now, we've all been there. We've all done that. But at the same time, when are you going to take some responsibility for your actions? So, what you're going to do for us, of course, this is your Uncle Dave, the Conquistador Dave Height.
Your Uncle Kev, the Maestro Kevin Crane.
What you're going to do for us is, as you listen to our podcast, that's step one in your recovery today. This is your recovery program. Step one, listen to the podcast. Step two, listen to and watch everything we tell you to. Because you will be smarter, you will be better, you will be more creative for it. And then step three,
go out and do it all over again tonight.
I was going to tell him not to!
With the caveat that now you have the information to approach the hottie and you have something to talk about.
That's true. Yes. That's why you need to listen to everything we tell you.
We give you the topics of discussion so you can sound intelligent.
Hey, have you listened to that new Counting Crows album? Hey, have you watched Black Bag? Hey, did you check out Thunderbolts? Well, maybe not that one. Then she's going to go, oh God, it's another Marvel geek. But we're going to review it anyway. Just gave away half the agenda, if not more.
That's all right.
For your weekend edition, Sports Frenzy 2.0. Your favorite politically incorrect pop culture commentary podcast.
Yep, it is May 17th, 2025 as you listen to this. Recorded on the 14th.
So we will start off as always with what, Dave?
Music, because it's all about the rock and roll, baby.
All right, now I feel like we're cheating a little bit on this one, even though we're not. It's not our fault. It's not our fault.
Counting Crows screwed us on this one.
Because, of course, we get Counting Crows' Butter Miracle, the complete suites. The problem is 4 of these 9 songs were released years ago.
Yeah. They're a little slow on the uptake.
So the final 4 songs on this album are Suite 1.
Yep.
Which are the songs that were released years ago. We saw them in concert. They performed them all live.
And it was good.
And then the first 5 songs are...
the new.
Yes. The newer stuff. What are they called? Sweet Tooth. I believe they're calling the first 5 songs are called Sweet Tooth.
Yes.
So.
Okay.
Now.
First 5... you got the Counting Crows vibe, but I still say they've got a different vibe to them.
Now, here's the thing. I will fully admit that I am probably a much bigger fan of the Counting Crows than Dave is.
You are, by far.
And I will give them a break on this because I would rather... I'm going to do a compare and contrast here to last week's review. To Billy Idol's Dream Into It. I would prefer they take 5 years to put together 9 good songs. I still think it's stupid. I still think it sucks. You should be able to do this on a more frequent basis if you are
like
a creative...
yearly like we used to get, or at least every other year.
But I will take these 9 songs...
over what we got from Billy Idol.
What we got from Billy Idol.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I was just thinking the first 5 they've got more of a Fratelli's vibe to me.
I think the overall album.
Or do the Fratellis have a Counting Crows vibe?
I think you will hear, even in the older stuff. Now we've reviewed the older stuff.
Yeah.
But you hear their influences throughout. Because now your song that you love, the final song on the album,
Bobby and the Rat Kings, my favorite out of this whole group.
An obvious homage to Bruce Springsteen.
Oh,
to
yeah.
me. That's an obvious tribute to Bruce Springsteen. But now, the newer stuff, even though it was only for about 5 or 10 seconds, the beginning track with Love from A to Z, I thought sounded like they were going to tear into Whipping Post.
It did have that.
It had
vibe.
a little bit of an Allman Brothers,
It
just
did.
real briefly. And
Just that opening work. Yeah.
Then Boxcars, I thought that riff that started that song off almost sounded like Collective Soul.
Yes. Yes. Very good call.
But both songs eventually end up being Counting Crows song.
Yeah.
And of course that goes to Adam Duritz. His song, I think he's one of the greatest lyricists out there.
He comes up with some creative lyrics.
Yep.
Weaving the stories together.
Now I know there's got to be, and I've listened to this album probably 10 times in the last week. There's got to be some kind of a lyrical thread here that I'm missing.
You would.
Now, Boxcars, I don't know if you caught this, Boxcars references a Rat King's tattoo.
Yes. Yeah. Boxcars did lead in a little bit to Bobby.
Yeah.
Well, and Bobby is mentioned in Spaceman in Tulsa as well. So you kind of have that little thread among those three songs.
Yep.
So maybe it culminates
with Bobby and the Rat King.
Bobby and the Rat Kings.
I don't know what he was thinking when he put this together. I don't know if it was one comprehensive project, overarching themes. Why did it take so long to bring in the first 5 songs? See, to me, that doesn't seem the way you would do it.
No. I don't know if you had the 4 and then work through and just mention.
But why wouldn't you mix and match? Why wouldn't you take the narrative thread and
weave them in instead of
here's the 5 new songs
and then the 4
old songs?
Yeah, they should have been woven into. They should have been integrated and mixed throughout the whole thing. If there was an overarching thread.
If there's a true narrative theme going through the whole thing. So, I am not going to pretend to. I'll have to sit down and read the lyrics, read the booklet, and see if I can piece it together. But for what I can take out of this, this is a phenomenal album. I love this album.
I enjoyed it. I
am a big Counting Crows fan.
You are.
I am very disappointed in the fact that, as you mentioned, it shouldn't take you this long to put 9 songs together.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
So when I look back and I said, well, this is the best album they've had since Saturday nights and Sunday mornings, I look and I go, they've only really released 1 album, maybe 2 since then.
What the hell are you guys doing?
I agree with you completely about the fact that when we were growing up, these bands
every other year, you released an album, you toured, you recorded and released, and toured. It was boom, boom, boom. Every other year, you had a new album,
and we didn't suffer in terms of the creativity.
No, not at all.
We got some of the greatest albums of all time when bands like Van Halen, bands like Journey, bands like Styx were doing that.
REO.
It kept them focused on the mission. It kept them creatively, the juices were creatively flowing.
Yeah. They were
Now they're
touring to
lazy.
support
Now they're
one.
all lazy.
Yeah. You were touring to support one album. Well, when you're on the road, you're writing the next one. You get in, record, you're touring, you're writing the next one. Come on, people. It's not rocket science.
And we understand the financial incentive is not there anymore when it comes to recorded music. Because Spotify doesn't... We love Spotify. Thank you for hosting our podcast. But Spotify does not give them anything when it comes to the streams. And there are no physical sales anymore because these kids nowadays don't understand what it means to own
a physical
except
material.
our kids. Our kids get it.
Our kids get it. They know.
But I'll tell you what, I love this album. I love it. I wish I didn't have the cynical edge that I have when it comes to it, where I'm thinking, so what is it going to be, another 5 years before we get another album from them?
Or half album?
I am not a ballad guy. I think you know this. Now, I'm a yacht rock guy, but I'm not a ballad guy. I just heard recently that Steve Perry remade Faithfully with Willie Nelson.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah. I'm like, that's the kind of song that would make me take a pair of shish kebabs and stick them in my eardrums.
Yeah. See, we even got a yacht rock-ish song on this one. Elevator Boots had that yacht rock feel.
But
In
I
retrospect.
thought Virginia Through the Rain was one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard in my life.
It was beautiful. It was all right.
I thought it was just gorgeous. And now the first time I listened to it, didn't quite grab me. Second time, third time.
You have to listen to it repeatedly for it to take effect.
But this is again where I say Adam Duritz is a master at roping you in with these songs.
Yeah.
He is a master of
focus
heartbreak.
on lyrics.
He is the master of heartbreak. And this song is just so heart-wrenching. And he can make a hook, a lyrical hook, so easy. Every one of these songs, the old stuff, the new stuff, every song has got a hook
in there.
There's not a clunker on this. Now, again, is it cheating?
Yes.
The fact that we're getting 5 new songs and 4 old songs, and we're putting them together as a full album?
Yes, it's a cheat. It's a cop-out.
See, that's the one thing that's bothering me about this, is that I really want to go nutsy cuckoo praising this, but I don't feel it's fair. But then again, I look and I go, nobody else is putting out new music.
There you go.
So why am I penalizing one of my favorite bands for doing it this way? Again, Billy Idol puts out 9 songs, and 8 of them are crap.
8 of them suck. So, and
I get 9 songs
and
from Counting
one of them
Crows.
is a repeat from before that he does a duet on.
And I get 9 songs from the Counting Crows, and I love every one of them. So,
do what you need to do.
All right, well, you're not going to like it.
You're giving it a 4.
Absolutely.
I'm giving it a solid 3.
Yep, 4 frenzies. 4 frenzies. This is the best, like I said, the best, I'm qualifying it, the best Counting Crows album I've heard since Saturday nights and Sunday mornings.
And I know Counting Crows are one of your top bands.
Yes. I just love Adam Duritz's lyrics. I love him as a songwriter. I just think he is one of the best songwriters out there. And this album, again, I put that in quotes. That goes in air quotes. Because, again, I think they cheated.
Yeah. See, I enjoy their stuff. I'm not a monster fan like you are. So I will give it a solid 3. It's there. There's some really good stuff on here, kids.
Well, let's take me out of the equation, because I'm obviously a little biased. Now, I will say this. The one song that I still think is out of place on the album is The Tall Grass.
that
It
that
has got
does
such a
not.
different
It's
tone.
so
It has got such a different tone from the rest of the songs.
yeah. That's the outlier.
It's got such a dark tone to it
Yeah,
about
it's
death and
yeah.
animals dying and all that. But
Yeah, that's the one that's kind of the weak link in the whole thing.
but
But it's still
you
decent.
should, as the non-Counting Crows fan, you need to tell the people
What the top songs?
the best and the worst. Yes.
All right, of course we'll hit the worst. Tall Grass, it just doesn't work with the rest.
And that is one of the older songs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the older ones. With Love from A to Z, it's okay. It's not bad. It was okay. Virginia Through the Rain that you loved, the more you listen to it, the better it gets. But still, for me, it was all right. The ones I absolutely loved.
We know the one.
Of course, the best one on there for me is Bobby and the Rat Kings. Has been from the beginning.
Right.
Spaceman in Tulsa, very good.
I still can't get that out of my head. Motherfucking rock and roll star.
Under the Aurora, I really enjoyed.
Yeah, that grows on you. That
It
one
does.
grows on you.
And then I also liked Angel of 14th Street.
Yep.
So those are my top on there.
The thing about Angel of 14th Street that I love shows the diversity of Counting Crows and how they can do different things. They can
Yes.
have a killer guitar solo. The horn solo in Angel of 14th Street.
Oh, the horns are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I did like Boxcars as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Boxcars has got a little bit of a darker edge to it
does.
also.
It's got a higher tempo bit from what they usually
Right, it
do with
rocks.
the darker edge.
Right.
So,
But yeah, him singing about mom and dad and a couple of kids in the theater looking at a screen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this sounds like a song about family trauma.
Yeah.
And
There's
again, I'm
something
still
dark in
sifting through the lyrics. And I'm going to find the narrative thread here. I swear. I'm going to. But yeah, this is easily, again, it feels like cheating, but this is easily my number one album of the year so far.
Well, there you go.
Not like we've had a lot to choose
There's
from.
not been a lot, so.
No. Speaking of which, next week, we will review the Spin Doctors' brand new album, Face Full of Cake.
Yes. Finally getting to that.
Yep. But we have a couple of songs here this week as well. And of course, I'm again biased, so
Yeah,
on the
there's
first
one
one,
that jumps right out at you.
yeah.
The face melting, the end from Mammoth.
Note, not Mammoth WVH anymore.
Nope, it's Mammoth. Wolfie got everything squared away. And we talked last week about the video.
Right.
That's phenomenal. You have got to listen to it and watch the video for the beautiful effect. But this song just fucking kills it.
The interesting thing about this is, if you remember, going back a couple years to the first single that came off of Mammoth 2, Another Celebration at the End of the World.
Yeah.
So Wolfie's a little obsessed with the end of days, the apocalypse.
He's not that far off. No,
yeah.
this song, the lyrically great, musically great.
Yep.
It fires on all cylinders.
Yep.
I love this one. I have to give this one a 4.
Wow, you're going 4
I
on this.
love this one.
Awesome. I will go 3.5.
So
I'm gonna go 3.5 frenzies.
This is what you've got some homage
To Eddie.
to Eddie in
Yep.
there.
Yep, you got the finger
It
tapping.
hits. I don't know. It's what I needed to hear.
You
at
got
this
the bass breakaway there.
Yeah, it just hits everything for me. It checks all the boxes.
Yeah, and I'm just hoping, like, again, referencing Another Celebration at the End of the World, that song came strong out of the gates for the second album, and then the second album was
It
a
kinda-
little bit of a letdown.
It was.
I'm hoping.
We need a full bounce back album.
Yep. Now, there has been no announcement, no other information about the third album. I'm assuming, based on the graphics I've seen, that we're getting Mammoth 3. It's not gonna. He's not gonna go
He's not doing
fancy and doing anything other than Mammoth 3.
Yeah, Mammoth 2, Mammoth 3.
Yeah.
Why would he do anything different?
Yep.
Maybe with the fourth one then.
But
you
Dave's
go
right.
out.
You got to watch the video. The video is an homage to old school MTV, with all these awesome cameos. And I know we talked about this last week, but still, I miss my MTV, my old MTV.
The
And
music videos.
This made me remember all the great 80s afternoons and evenings and nights I spent watching MTV.
This would have ruled Friday night video fights for weeks upon weeks upon weeks.
Yes. Absolutely yes. Yes.
This could have set the record as the #1 on Friday night video fights.
Yep. Yep. That's how good this video is, kids. So, Dave and I both heartily recommend The End. I am pulling back a little bit with the 3.5.
But that's all right. Still highly recommendable.
Yep.
Now, moving on. Green Day with the latest single, Ballyhoo.
I didn't hate it.
You know, I will actually say this is probably the best that they've had in some time.
I would probably say
It
I
does
agree.
not sound like every other Green Day song we've ever heard. It's different.
Now, I'm not going to fall prey to this bullshit marketing scheme that they're pulling with Saviors. Where, now we're going to put out a deluxe edition where you need to buy this for the 3 or 4 new songs.
No, screw that crap. This song on its own, it was a breath of fresh air from these guys.
I agree. And even if you pair it with Smash It Like Belushi, it still sounds better. The throwaway tracks sound better
than
what they're
album.
deeming to be album worthy.
Yeah. No, this... I like Smash It with Belushi. This is better.
This is
much better.
I agree.
This goes back to almost what we would expect out of Green Day.
Yeah. It breaks the template just enough.
Yes.
Where you know it's Green Day, but it's still a little different, a little catchier.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I'll give it a solid 3 frenzy.
Solid 3 is where I'm at on it as well.
Yep.
This gives me hope that they actually still have some semblance of what they were.
Well, and the thing that's really depressing, and I won't say that Green Day is the only band that makes me feel like this, but you wonder if they're really listening to their fans, or are they listening to the record executives?
Yeah.
The record executives say, you need to put out stuff that sounds like you. Whereas the fans, we want something a little different.
Yeah, you can sound like you, but not the same.
Yeah.
You have your distinct little sound, but don't repeat the same riffs over and over and over and over again.
And at the same time, don't go too far off the rails like U2 did.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s.
Yeah, don't fall into that experimental play bullshit that nobody liked.
Right. And I will still say, even though it was not one of their more popular albums, it has become more popular in time. Warning was an unbelievable album. I will take
the
Warning.
Title track.
I will take Warning over any of their albums. I
love Dookie, but Warning was great.
Because Warning is where they learned how to be a versatile band.
Yes.
There's acoustic stuff in there. It is well written. The lyrics are great.
Yes.
I want more of that. And Ballyhoo reminds me a little bit of that.
That goes back to that
era,
frame.
the Warning era Green Day. When they stretched a little bit, were more creative.
There you go.
I'm hoping you're right in that this is a hope, a glimmer.
There's that
light in the tunnel.
That spark that's still there.
But
I don't hold out any hope.
Because Billy Joe Armstrong is obsessed with politics. I just saw it today. Bruce Springsteen opened his tour ranting about politics. And I'm like, could you idiots shut
up and entertain me?
I don't care who Bruce Springsteen likes or doesn't like when it comes to politics.
I go to a concert for you to sing your songs. I don't care what you believe in. Shut up and sing. I've always said that. I stand by it.
I do too. I can't. If you want to tell me how you feel about religion, politics, do a book. Write a book. Because I have the option.
Or go to a fucking political rally.
But I have the option.
But not at my concert. Not on my dime, bitch.
I have the option to buy the book or not buy the book. To go to my local library and read the book. But when I go to a concert, I want to hear you play Born to Run if you're Springsteen. You know, Jesus of Suburbia if you're Green Day. I don't need you ranting and raving about fuck Trump, fuck Trump, fuck Trump.
Leave your damn politics out of it. Stop your rants, because when you do that bullshit, you take away 2 to 3 extra songs that you could be entertaining your audience with.
And you lost Dave and I. Green Day at least lost Dave and I. We saw him one time. I won't go see him again.
I was so pissed with all
for
the
what
bullshit.
We had to pay.
Yeah.
A decade ago, what we had to pay to go see them.
And we lost out on probably 4 songs because of the political ranting bullshit.
And I know you won't listen. You don't listen to your fans. That's obvious.
Because you don't care. It's all about your ego.
And, of course, wrap-up music, sad news. One of our favorite bands, Alice in Chains, had to cancel their current. It wasn't a huge months and months and months long tour, but a short headlining tour. Their drummer, Sean Kinney, having health issues. But there's another band, again. How many albums have we gotten from them in the past 15 years?
Yeah.
We get one every 5 years from them, it seems like.
Not good.
Another band that let's
pick up the pace a little bit. Guys.
Lock yourselves in a fucking hotel room like the old school days and knock out an album in a week. Write the songs. Have room service bring a keg of beer and whatever other substances you need
to do.
But let's get creative again and knock out some new music. For the love of God. This year, 2025, has been abysmal when it comes to new music.
The scene is just bad right now.
I can only think of 2 albums this year that I liked. Counting Crows and Tremonti. And that's it.
Yeah. It's been a wasteland of music.
Now I don't expect you to know this off the top of your head. When does Shinedown come out? When does their new album?
It's not coming out for a little bit yet.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one.
And everybody's talking about Ghost, the new Ghost album.
The new Ghost album should be good too.
Yeah. I think they said that's the first rock album in a long time to actually hit #1 on the Billboard.
Oh, the new song?
Album chart. No, the album.
Oh, the album.
I think the album's out.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I think it's out. Don't quote me, but I think it's out. Because I could have swore I read a couple weeks ago that it was the first rock album in ages to hit #1 on the Billboard charts.
Okay, I'll have to look into it.
All right, let's knock out our TV and streaming, and then I have got a crap ton of news, because this week, of course, was what they call the upfronts, where all the channels, all the streaming services announce all their big projects.
Blah, 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 yeah.
But we have got to review season 2 of Tracker.
We do. God. They have not been afraid to take on the dark storylines.
Especially the last 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah, I applaud them for going down the dark road and dealing with trafficking, kidnapping, all that crap. It's out there. It happens.
And I'll tell
and
you,
they do a nice job dealing with it.
well, I'll tell you what I like is that for a network show, and they usually will be the most namby-pamby PC writers and directors out there. The final episode of season 2 of Tracker, Coulter did not hold back.
No.
Coulter, there's one scene where he shoots a guy in the leg and the guy keeps going
and he shoots
him in the other leg. And I'm like, this is old school Steven Seagal shit.
This is what...
on network TV.
Yeah.
And of course, you mentioned there's dark things going on that have colored Coulter Shaw's reaction to these people.
Yeah. He's...
But there
the
are
way
other...
he was brought up, he's got his code. He is going to do whatever it takes to right wrongs. And he will shoot first and deal with it later.
But that's refreshing compared to what we normally get.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, it's okay. No.
Let's talk it out. Let's talk it out. This is an old school 80s action hero. Shoot first, ask questions
Beat
later.
somebody's ass.
Yeah, I already know you're a scumbag. So,
yeah, but
maybe I'm not putting 2 in your back, but I'll knock out both your legs.
Yep.
Then, of course, we have the big cliffhanger at the end, which we knew kind of, sort of, something was coming. The family drama.
And it's an overarching thing through the first few books.
Right. And they have done a good job through the first 2 seasons of sprinkling it in here and there.
Yep.
Oh, Coulter, why can't you just leave it alone?
Because I have to know.
And, well, Mom, maybe you're involved.
Well, Mom might be a little bit of the problem.
So, there's a reason why I believe this show is the #1 show on network TV, is because it does a phenomenal job of bridging the gap between the normal pap, the normal generic garbage you get on network TV, and the
old
streaming stuff,
procedurals.
the harder edge stuff that you and I love, the old school procedurals. This is the only show that does that.
Yeah. And they do it very well.
So, season 2 of Tracker, I get 3.5 frenzies.
3.5. So good.
Yep. Justin Hartley, kudos to him. He pulls this role off brilliantly.
Yeah. He has become Coulter Shaw.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people, he's just a pretty boy.
No.
You watch his eyes. Watch his... He does a great job of conveying a guy who's looking at everything, taking in everything.
The emotion he has in there.
Again, especially at the end of season 2.
He's not a robot.
And the beginning of season 2.
Yeah.
Even though he resolved that issue, seeing him being vulnerable like that at the beginning and at the end.
Yep.
But make no mistake,
Hartley is good.
He will shoot your legs out from under you. Especially if he knows you're a scumbag.
Yep.
So we only have to wait, 5 more months for season 3?
Yeah, roughly. Better than nothing.
I am going to try my best. Dave is waiting patiently for me to finish up
season. Sure, we'll go with that.
Oh, man. You wouldn't believe the stink eye I just gave him right now, kids. Season 3 of Dark Winds. I am about halfway through. So hopefully, given what we're discussing in terms of our schedule for next week, I will knock that out. So we will have Dark Winds Season 3 for you, our complete review next week.
And we will be caught up.
And then Poker Face is launched on Peacock. So I have watched the first episode featuring an actress that I have kind of a love-hate thing for. That would be Cynthia Erivo. Of course, most of you out there, you geeks, know her from Wicked. But I remember her phenomenal actress from Stephen King's HBO Max miniseries, The Outsider. She was unbelievable in that. And she is great playing multiple roles in episode 1 of Poker Face.
Interesting.
Yep.
There we go.
The title of it, I can't spoil it. It's just the title of the episode. The title of the episode is The Game is Afoot.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Yeah, I can only imagine, based on season 1 titles, how this is going to go. Alrighty then.
But, yeah, the human bullshit detector is in full force in this one. So.
Good times.
Yep. Now, of course, the first 3 episodes are out. As you're listening to this, episode 4 has been released. So every Thursday we're getting new episodes. So we will try to keep you abreast of what's going on. Dave might have some familial restrictions.
Yes, the wife has made comments that she wants to wait until it fully drops. I'm like, I am not waiting that long to get this started. I might try and convince her, let's do 1 a week. Maybe I can pull that off, and I might be a little behind, but...
Well, I will not spoil. I do not spoil. I hate spoilers. So, all I can say is episode 1 of season 2.
Picks up
Yep.
very well.
Yep. Absolutely no drop-off in quality.
Good. That's what I was worried about.
Natasha Lyonne is great. Playing that role. It's... Charlie Cale is a... How do you describe her? I mean, the weird thing is she's not attractive, but she is attractive. She's like a woman a guy could get along with, but also seems to be a little bit on the lesbian side of things, and she's just a cipher, you know?
Yeah. She's just somebody trying to get through life.
Yep. You wonder what her motivation is.
We don't have a lot of backstory.
Yeah. Other than she's on the run, of course.
Right.
So, I will not bore the people out there with my recap of Backlash from last weekend. Backlash is always the most boring premium live event on the WWE slate because it comes right after WrestleMania. So belts usually don't change hands.
There's nothing that has gotten going after WrestleMania by now. No. So why do they even bother?
Now the next one is one of the big ones. The next one is Money in the Bank. So you get the briefcase.
Where you can challenge at any time.
Yep. One for the men, one for the women. So that one is always very good. But yeah, Backlash, there's nothing to report from Backlash. Literally nothing. John Cena is still the champion. So
there you go.
Yeah. All right. As I mentioned, tons and tons of news when it comes to mostly streaming. Peacemaker Season 2. Finally. August the 21st on Max. Oh! Wait! It's not going to be Max anymore, Dave.
Oh, God, now what?
I love it. This would have qualified if it wasn't for the fact that I'm going deep and dark on the Red Foreman dumbasses.
This would have been a dumbass.
Yeah.
Is this going to rival Sheriff Country?
Well, nothing could rival Sheriff Country. No, Sheriff Country is the most idiotic title of all
And they're
time.
still going with it.
Yeah. No, they realize they made a dumb, stupid mistake, so they're going back to HBO Max. They realized they were stupid and should never have taken HBO out of the title to begin with. So,
gee, thanks, Captain Obvious.
yeah, so this summer it will be rebranded and go back to being HBO Max.
Whatever, nobody cares.
But focus on the positive. Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. The
August
11th Street Kids are back, baby.
And it looks like they're going to do the multi-dimensional stuff.
I hate the multiverse bullshit. We'll see what they do with
Now,
it.
you still have not watched Ted on Peacock yet, have you, the series?
I started it.
You didn't like it?
It was alright.
Well, they're going to do Ted the Animated Series now.
Oh, good God. Let the fucking teddy bear die. Let him go gently into that
series.
good night.
I thought the series was very funny. And I will watch the animated series.
Oh, well, there you go.
Something I probably won't be watching on Peacock, even though a lot of people are excited about this. I don't know why. I bet your wife will get into this. The spin-off from The Office, called The Paper, will debut this September on Peacock. Don't have a specific date yet.
It depends on the cast.
What, the only one that's coming back from the original so far is Oscar, I think is...
Oh, God. That doesn't do anything. No, that's probably going to be a hard pass.
Now, something I know you're going to watch. Fallout.
Oh, hells yes.
Gets an early Season 3 renewal. Season 2 will debut at some point in December of 2025 on Amazon Prime Video.
So looking forward to Fallout coming back.
There are rumors, partially confirmed. Rumors and speculation. Speculation and rumors. I mean, it's not a big stretch, but... Okay, we talked about Daredevil Born Again. And how they, number one, they lied to us.
Disney bullshit. Oh, we're going to split the season. Yeah.
Now,
Asshats.
supposedly, in 2026, Season 2 of Daredevil Born Again, the part that has been confirmed, we already know the Punisher's in it.
Right.
Jessica Jones will be making an appearance.
Oh,
in
which
Season
means
2.
Luke Cage will be coming in at some point, followed by the Iron Fist.
There you go.
We're bringing the band back together.
That is the rumor.
Because Netflix had it done right. Disney tried to fuck it up and realized, oh, I guess it was popular, so we should probably stick with the formula that worked. Duh!
Yep, so even though only Jessica Jones has been confirmed for Season 2 of Daredevil Born Again, the rumors are they are going to do a full-fledged Defenders reunion in Season 2.
There we go.
Alien Earth. Finally, we have a firm debut date.
Would you say terra firma date?
Good news, though. Very good news. Initially, I had heard this was only going to be on Hulu. Now they're saying it will be on FX as well.
Nice.
So it will
Very
be on
good.
FX.
Very cool.
Alien Earth will be 8 episodes. Of course, starring the great Timothy Oliphant. First 2 episodes will debut on August the 12th on both FX
Nice.
and Hulu. And then for me personally, I know Dave does not have Disney Plus. We were just discussing this the other night. May the 28th on Disney Plus, I will finally get to watch Captain America Brave New World.
Yeah, good luck with that.
And then in the sports edition, if you didn't listen to it, shame on you! Shame on you!
Thursday mornings. For
We
your
discussed
favorite politically incorrect sports commentary. You can find it just like you can here with the weekend edition on Spotify, Good Pods, Pocket Cast, Apple Overcast, Castbox, Amazon Audible, and iHeart Sports Frenzy, baby.
otherwise known as iHeartRadio, and yes, the YouTube experiment.
The UB-Tubies coming soon.
Yes. We're not sure how long it will be before we get banned, but we're going to give it a go, God damn it. God damn it, we're going to do it. Now we discussed ESPN and their app that's coming. We discussed that on the sports edition. I held off on the other one because this one is more, this is news, sports, entertainment. The Fox app, the Fox One app, is supposed. Now they have not told us how
Price
much.
point.
Yeah, we don't know how much this is going to cost.
ESPN's going to be $30 a month.
Now the Fox One app is supposed to have not only the Fox sports channels, but also the news and their content from the over-the-air channel. I wonder how much of their stuff from Hulu and FX. Like, do we get Terriers? Can we access Terriers on this?
Dare we get Terriers? Could we
That's an old
possibly
FX
hope?
show, right?
That's too much to hope for.
I don't know.
Especially
Fox is usually smarter than ESPN and Disney and the Rat.
Yeah, well, they haven't shown it by canceling Terriers after one season.
And canceling, of course, What We Do in the Shadows.
Yep, and keeping stupid shit going. Louis C.K., what a bunch of bullshit.
I watch my old League videos, and they have promos for that at the beginning. I'm like, oh my God, how did this show actually make it through more than one season?
So bad.
Finally, a little bit more good news. We have a name. It looks like, not confirmed, but
we got a name.
We got a name, and it's officially coming into theaters July the 24th, 2026. Evil Dead Burn.
Nice.
So the latest incarnation, the latest episode, the latest installment of the Evil Dead franchise coming next summer.
Very nice.
See, this is what we need to do. We need to alternate every other summer. Evil Dead, Final Destination. Evil Dead, Final Destination. Give us one great horror movie we can depend upon every summer. None of this low-budget A24 garbage.
Which is more miss than hit.
Yes, definitely. If I see anything even remotely close to I saw the TV glow again, I will literally gouge my eyeballs out.
Yeah, that would be so.
So now, before we get to our big, massive movie reviews of the week, and we do have two very, very significant movie reviews, it's time for what we like to call Literary Frenzy, where we look at books. Yes, you people need to start reading books. Go to your local library. If you don't want to buy a book, pick up a book at the library.
Read. Reading is fundamental. It educates you.
Of course, Dave and I read. He, of course, a lot more than me. But we both read a lot in between watching the movies, watching the sports, watching the TV shows. And we just talked about Tracker here recently, based on a book series by Jeffrey Deaver. So a lot...
Very good stories.
There are a lot of stories out there waiting to be turned into great movies or TV shows.
Only Hollywood's too stupid to realize.
Yes. And one of those series that Sundance actually did years and years ago for 3 seasons, 3 glorious seasons,
Beautifully done.
was Hap and Leonard.
Characters created by Joe Lansdale.
Yep, Joe R. Lansdale is the author behind the long-running Hap and Leonard book series, which is still running, still going strong. In fact, later on this year, Hatchet Girls will be the next installment in the Hap and Leonard series. But Dave and I were kind of shocked a few months ago when we found out that...
We missed one.
Yes. Last year, Sugar on the Bones came out. And the usual cast of characters involved in the latest Hap and Leonard adventure, and a lot, at least a few, shocking deaths.
A major character, a close friend of Hap and Leonard, does not make it, which completely took me by surprise.
Yep. And me too. And then, of course, one of their longtime adversaries also bites the dust.
Yep.
But you get the usual cast again of suspects. You get Vanilla Ride, of course, Hap and Leonard with Brett.
Yep. Vanilla Ride's one of those fun characters that's on the edge of legality.
And then, of course, we witness the death of another friend.
Yeah.
Towards the end. So there is a lot going on here.
Yeah.
In Sugar on the Bones.
And it's a twisted tale. You've got a criminal enterprise. The mastermind has his femme fatale. Doing both father and daughter.
Yeah, what looks like it's a basic insurance scam
is so much deeper and darker.
Yep. And Leonard and Brett, or Hap and Brett, seem to figure out that this could be tied into a previous encounter they had with a criminal enterprise, and maybe this is the same, just with a different head on the snake, as they would say.
Yeah, the Hydra rears itself back up.
Yep. And then Leonard, of course, is worried about him and Pookie.
Impending nuptials.
Yep. Now I will say this. I'm sure that if I ever met Joe Lansdale in real life, he and I would never get along, because I know he's really close with Stephen King. But I admire the fact
he's created a hell of a world here.
And I admire the fact that he understands balance. He's got a gay black conservative and a white liberal,
a straight white liberal,
as best friends. Yes, brothers basically.
Yeah, pretty much grew up together. They would do anything for each other.
Right, and the fact he can pull that off tells me that.
And he's done it for decades.
Yeah. So, don't want to spoil too much. And there is a little bit of a cliffhanger, a little bit of a teaser at the end.
Yes.
So, we don't get the...
It's not a clean ending.
Yeah. And that's not a bad thing.
No.
It'll be interesting to see where Hatchet Girls takes things. If it goes down that road at all, or maybe that's something...
Is it Fallout, or is it going to be a book or two down the line?
Right.
Now, we know in the run of the series, Hap and Leonard are starting to get up in age. But as Lansdale had said in an interview, because he had it going along in chronological, then went back, and somebody asked him about it, he goes, "They're my characters. I can do whatever I want with them. I can put them in the future. I can take them in the past. I can do any storyline I want at any time that I want."
And he's
and I
right. He's
applaud
absolutely
him.
right.
I applaud him for that. I just would like to see other authors do something similar. Because we don't always have to have the chronological bit going.
No, and I applaud. Yes, I've dabbled in writing, and a lot of the things that the authors who have written dozens and dozens and dozens of books I can't relate to, but I can relate to that. I can say, if I'm going to create a character, that character is mine, and I get to do with that character what I want. And the audience shouldn't dictate to me what I can do with it. If they don't like it, they don't have to read it.
And why, as a book comes out each year, does a year have to pass in the character's life?
Look at Spencer. There's no way in hell that Spencer has aged based on real time. Considering the Godwolf manuscript came out in the early 70s.
Yeah.
And he's still around now in 2025. Same thing with Dave Robichaux.
Yeah, because Spencer was...
Our two of our
In
favorites.
71, when Godwolf came out, Spencer was pushing 40 at that time.
Because he was a Vietnam War veteran.
No, he was a
Korean War veteran.
Korean
yes,
War
you're right.
vet.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm thinking of Robichaux.
Yeah. So you figure he was pushing 40 when Godwolf came out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you bend time. If you're an author,
yeah,
you bend
sometimes-
time.
Which kind of, I don't like what C.J. Box does. Because
With Joe
he
Pickett?
does with Joe Pickett, each book comes out a year passes in their life. I'm like, no, stop. Why does
You're going to
everything
box
have
yourself
to be...
in is what you're going to
Yeah,
do.
you're hosing yourself in that regard.
Yeah, and your audience.
Yeah.
And that you're limiting what you can do with those characters, and you're basically telling them there's going to be an end, a predictable
At some
end
point,
to this.
yeah. It's like, no, do not do this yearly thing. Do not have them age out yearly with each book. The passage of time should not be based on when you publish.
Yep. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Well, I love Sugar on the Bones. Absolutely. Now, I will admit...
Yeah, we got off on a rabbit trail there.
No, but that was a good rabbit trail. These people out here need to know in podcast land some of these great characters, these great authors, what they do. We won't even mention the stinker known as James Patterson. That after we discussed last week, weeks and weeks and months after reading Eruption, I'm going to go down the rabbit hole now, the stink hole. That dude just pisses me off. He just makes me mad. In what he gets away with, how much money he makes. His peers love him. All the big authors out there think he's a genius. It's got to be because of the money he makes, not because of the quality of his work.
No. He throws his name on everything. He's got writers that he's starting to help out, but he throws his name on it to get the money. So his name is on at least a book a week that comes out. It's ridiculous.
And now he's got one coming out again with Bill Clinton.
Another...
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever.
Anyway, that was my rabbit hole. But...
Sugar on the Bone.
Very, very good. The one criticism I have of it, and it's a very small criticism, it will not really influence my ranking, my grade, is that there was a lot of sitting around, waiting.
Yeah, they did do a lot of that.
But when you're dealing with characters who actually are engaging and interesting,
But even the
we get
sitting
introduced
around...
to Al. Al is...
Oh my God.
Al is such a colorful character in how he describes his life.
He's a whack job.
Yeah.
He's...
All I could think of was Billy Bob Thornton playing him.
Yeah, just somebody who fucks up in life over and over and falls ass backwards into good luck.
Yep. With his
In a
trailer
weird
full of
way.
mice. But even when they're all just sitting around plotting and planning and waiting for the enemies to make their move, the dialogue is still very entertaining.
Yeah.
Very fresh. So it's
Lansdale
a very
does
minor criticism.
Yeah. Lansdale does a great job with the conversations.
Yep. So I will give Sugar on the Bones a solid 3.5 frenzies.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It's right up there with one of his better ones. I have not really been disappointed with Hap Leonard at all.
Yeah, no, I have jumped around in the series, so I haven't read all of them. I've read about half of them.
Did you get The Elephant of Surprise?
I never read it.
Oh.
No.
And
I read
again, referenced again in this one.
Multiple times in this one, yeah. Now, I know I read the one before.
Yeah.
So, and I know I skipped Vanilla Ride. So.
You gotta get Vanilla Ride in.
But now I'm back. I will start reading everything. Here, Hatchet Girls, definitely already on my list for 2025.
There you go.
But yeah, definitely another great series to check out, Hap and Leonard. And once again, I don't know where you can find it. I was lucky enough to buy the first season on DVD. That's all that was available.
Seasons were phenomenal.
I actually, over the weekend, looked. And of course, these fucking websites don't give you any information.
Oh, of course they wouldn't.
I wanted to look and see, because if you sign up for AMC Plus, you get Sundance. And I wanted to see if Hap and Leonard was on Sundance. Couldn't find it. They won't let you look at their catalog unless you actually sign up for the free trial. And I wanted to see, do I get access to all 3 seasons? So can I watch all 3?
I would love to watch them again.
Yeah. If I find out, I will let you know. But yes, definitely, that's your book project for right now, kids.
Hap and Leonard, baby.
Yep.
Good stuff.
All right, we have trailers. We have a few trailers to discuss before we get to our movie reviews. One that I know Dave and his boys have been eagerly anticipating.
Hutch is back. Bob Odenkirk in Nobody 2.
Holiday Road.
Oh, yes.
He's on vacation.
Hutch's family wants him to be around, take time out from his Black Ops work, and go on vacation. Yeah, why can't anything be simple? It doesn't go well. It's intriguing that Colin Hanks plays
Sheriff.
a corrupt sheriff. I like the twist that he's willing to go dark. So, no, the Sharon Stone plays the evil matriarch of the criminal enterprise. God, this looks fun.
Yep. And it looks like they put a lot more into this, even though the first one was a great low-budget hit.
This one they put a little more into.
Yep, with the cast.
Yeah. So we are looking forward to this one.
Then we have the trailer. We just mentioned Peacemaker 2 a few minutes ago. The trailer is out for that. And then I will say this. Now, we're about to review Thunderbolts. I am a huge comic book geek. I go to see as many, not everyone like I used to. I used to go see every movie.
We're picking and choosing.
Because Marvel, of course, got screwed by Disney. So I have not seen the Marvels. I have not seen Captain America, Brave New World. But now DC, now that James Gunn has taken over, of course, the big cornerstone this summer is Superman. Now they have released a new trailer. This trailer gives me more hope than the first one.
Other than Crypto dragging his ass across the snow.
There's still too much crypto. But this trailer centers on an interview. He agrees to give Lois Lane an interview, even though they are romantically involved. And of course, Lois Lane is asking the hard questions, and Superman's getting a little bit prickly about,
Whoa.
Hey, I just stopped the war. And she's like, well, you overexceeded any authority you were given. Did you consult the president? And Superman's going, no.
Why?
He's like, then why do you think you're allowed to do that?
Because I'm Superman and something needed to be done. Innocent lives needed to be saved.
That's what he said. That's what he said. Innocent lives needed to be saved. And so they're going back and forth, and she's trying to couch this as, you have to play by the rules of the governments and the international agencies, and
why? I'm an alien.
He's trying to say, without saying that type of stuff, I'm just trying to do the best I can to save people, save lives, stop bloodshed. But you have to play by the rules.
Whose rules? Who makes the rules?
So it's a very...
The bad guys don't play by the rules. Why do the good guys have to play by the rules?
So it's a very interesting trailer. Very interesting trailer. This one I like much more than the first one. Although, yeah, there's still too much fucking crypto.
Yeah, well, there you go. Have to have guns, rescue dog.
And then finally, this is something that's driven me nuts for months and months, if not years. This is something I wanted to bring up before the internet debacle last month. YouTube has finally decided to start shutting down, or at least cutting off ad revenue from all these YouTube channels that post these fake trailers. I do not like fake trailers. I do not.
No.
I want to see the official, real trailers. I don't care if Jugdish over in India, I know how I could make a Superman trailer that would look really good with my computer and my AI. I don't give a rat's fuck.
We don't want AI-generated shit, period, end of conversation.
It's basically like Twilight fan fiction to me. I don't want it. Okay? Now, YouTube has found the 4 biggest fake trailer channels and told them, you can stay up and running. You ain't getting any more ad revenue.
There you go. Perfect.
So that leads us into a movie that I'm sure had plenty of fake trailers. That would be the latest from Marvel Studios. That would be Thunderbolts.
The new Avengers. Oh, man.
This harkens back to when Marvel was good.
You take some of the lesser known Marvel characters, weave together their backstory, and bring them together. And it works. No agendas. Nothing's changed.
No PC bullshit. No PC casting.
They are who they are supposed to be.
They are all secondary characters from previous movies. Now most of them come from Captain America and Black Widow.
So you've got Red Guardian. You've got Bucky, the Winter Soldier.
Yep, you've got
You've
Ghost.
got Ghost. So good.
Yep, it reminded me of, in a way, of Guardians of the Galaxy in terms of the interplay. You've got just the right mix of humor and serious action.
Yep. You've got misfits, fish out of water, trying to find, where am I right now? Because
am I good? Am I bad? Am I working for the right side? Am I working for the wrong side?
And what the hell am I doing right now?
And then we have Bob.
What about Bob?
Yes, Bob, who could end up being the savior of the world or its worst enemy.
Savior or destroyer?
Yep. All revolving around something called the Sentry Project. And I loved it. I thought this was...
This harkens back to the heyday of Marvel.
I still separate Deadpool and Wolverine because...
You have to. That's not...
Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy told Disney, go fuck yourself. We're going to do what we want. And Disney said, oh, yeah, you're going to make us $1 billion. Sure. Go ahead. The money was just too great for Disney to intervene.
Yeah.
So I again have to go back to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 for a Marvel movie
that was
this good. Yes.
Yeah, no, this was fantastic. Great character development. You had phenomenal action sequences. CGI was not over the top.
Yeah, and I know, I told you. I love it when the CGI is minimal.
And they did a great job in that regard.
Yep.
Writing was good. The timing of comments and the interplay, phenomenal.
Now, my one criticism, I'm going to do the same thing with this that I did with Counting Crows, where I had my one little tiny criticism of the tall grass. I thought, even though I understood where they were going with the ending, I thought we got a little too far into the weeds when it came to... It almost felt like a PSA there for a couple minutes about mental health. Mental health and suicide prevention. I almost felt like it was a commercial there for a minute or two.
But at the same time, it was a key component to the Sentry.
I agree. They didn't go too far, but they came close.
They did come close.
So,
but it
minor
complaint.
To be
dealt with.
Minor complaint. Absolutely minor complaint. I will give Thunderbolts 3.5 frenzies.
3.5 frenzies for the Thunderbolts.
See, kids, positivity all around this week. And I don't think it's going to stop with Black Bag.
Black Bag. Michael Fassbender, Kate Blanchett. Husband, wife, spies for MI6. Can't talk about what each other's doing, but they keep an eye on each other. They will defend...
Or do they?
Or do they?
Are their jobs separate? Or are they working on the same thing?
Or are they at odds?
Try not to spoil things for you, kids.
So, it's going to be tough. That opening dinner scene.
And that's the great thing. It starts with an opening dinner scene.
And ends with an
opening or closing, quote-unquote, dinner scene. Where's the dinner?
Fassbender is fucking brilliant.
Yeah, you have to accept him for what he is. He's got a very narrow range as an actor. He's almost robotic, but it works for him.
He's
intense.
Like you said, robotic, the analytical, almost autistic in his single-mindedness to solve the problem.
Yes.
To do what needs to be done.
Yeah, you can see there's a scene towards the end. It's not a spoiler, but his wife throws a one of those makeup cloths and misses the trash can. He immediately has to pick it up and put it in the trash.
The OCD stuff where he's got to get to the bottom of things.
But they try to use that against him at the beginning.
Everything has to be clean. Yes, they do.
As things are planted. But see, I love Fassbender. But again, you have to take him for what he is. He's not Christian Bale. Christian Bale can do anything, anywhere, anytime, and he's a chameleon.
Fassbender is a one-trick
Look at
pony.
the roles Fassbender has played. He's played Magneto in X-Men First Class in that series. of
Yep.
movies. He's played the android in Prometheus. So he takes these roles where he's very cold and analytical.
Cold, calculating.
Yes. Could he possibly make for a good James Bond?
I don't know.
Probably a little too cold and calculating.
Maybe a little too cerebral. Bond has to have more of the physical action. Not to say he couldn't do it based on his assassin,
Right.
but not necessarily
From The Killer.
From The Killer.
Yep. Another great movie that was on Netflix a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Of course, screenplay for this was done by David Koepp. I want to give a shout out to him. He has written some of the greatest screenplays of the last 40 years. And if you people don't know who David Koepp is, David Koepp wrote the screenplay for Jurassic Park. He wrote the screenplay for the first Mission Impossible. His resume is stellar beyond belief.
Phenomenal.
And what I want to do is I want to reference something here, because you got David Koepp writing the screenplay for this. And then you've got Steven Soderbergh, very well-known director, directing this movie. Steven Soderbergh said something a few weeks back, which I want to point out, about Black Bag. And I tend to agree with him. Now, Black Bag did okay, I guess, at the movie. Made about $22 million domestically. But Soderbergh came out and said, and he sounded like a proud father, is what he sounded like. He came out and he said, if a movie like Black Bag can't succeed at the box office, then there's really something wrong with the movie going public. And I agree with him.
Yeah, this is not your straight up action shoot 'em up everything. This is more cerebral, behind the scenes. This is espionage.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think in this one. And that's the problem with society now, is nobody wants to take the time to think and analyze. It's attention deficit syndrome across the board. You got to have the, oh, look at this flashy thing, constant, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. No, this slower pace, think it through. All the characters were great. Blanchett as Fassbender's wife in this, I loved. She just played everything so cool.
Yeah, there's a great juxtaposition between something that happens towards the beginning of the movie and towards
the end.
Where at the beginning, and it sets you up as the audience to make you wonder who's double-crossing who, if there's a double cross at all.
Right.
Where Fassbender, they're married, Fassbender and Blanchett, and at the beginning, Fassbender says, I would do anything for you, I would kill for you, I would lie for you, and you never get the response back, and then towards the end you do.
Yeah.
In another scene between the two. So
it's brilliantly written, brilliantly acted.
And the thing that should have worked for audiences is it's barely over an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah, it's a short run
It's
time.
not like a long, drawn-out, dry British spy caper. It moves very quickly, it gets in, does what it needs to do, and gets out.
Yep. Old school stuff.
Yep. No, I did enjoy it very much. I will give it 3 frenzies.
Solid 3 frenzies. Very good.
So once again, kids, book Sugar on the Bones. 3.5 frenzies.
Thunderbolts, 3.5.
Black Bag, 3. Tracker, 3.5. Counting Crows, 4, 3. Still.
Hell, we even gave Green Day 3.
Yeah. So now, inevitably, we have to move on from all that wonderful, joyous positivity.
Now it just goes down the crapper. We have to pay homage.
Don't say crapper, because that story's coming. But first...
See, I'm just tying it all together.
We have
You
moments of
shouldn't have
silence.
given me the hint.
You were only a couple minutes away, and then you'll get my story of embarrassment and shame to give everybody a good laugh before we wrap things up. But we do have a couple moments of silence. A couple of notable directors. Robert Benton won the Academy Award for directing Kramer versus Kramer. And then James Foley, who directed the 2 sequels to 50 Shades of Grey, also directed At Close Range, very underrated movie with Sean Penn and Christopher Walken, and the film version of Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yeah.
Also directed 12 episodes, by the way, of House of Cards.
Yep. Kramer versus Kramer, Glengarry Glen Ross. 2 movies, never seen. Never had a desire to see, never will see.
I watched both of them a long time ago, once.
Yeah,
I do admire the Kramer versus Kramer thing is overrated. I like Dustin Hoffman as an actor, so I liked him in it, but I've never liked Meryl Streep.
Well, that goes without saying.
So, and the way they portray her was one of the early indications of
who she was going to be.
Well, when Hollywood was actually trying to not be such liberal fucktards, and they were actually trying to say the father might actually be better than the mother in terms of raising the child.
Yeah. Don't get that anymore,
But Glengarry Glen Ross is a play.
Yeah, no desire.
It's not a movie. You know, the dynamic of a bunch of sleazy salesmen trying to one-up each other.
Yeah, just no.
All right, now I mentioned a couple things too that we're going to wrap the show up with. Now, we're going to end on the humiliating stuff. So, I will tell you my story of woe from today in a minute. But we're not doing our traditional Red Foreman dumbasses of the week because
there's just too much depravity.
I'm going to give you 4 names. I'm not asking for a vote. I am just doing this as a general commentary on celebrities. And once again, I know I've said this in the past. Dave has agreed with me. Don't fall prey to celebrities and what they say and what they think. They're not smarter than you and I. They're not better than you and I. In these cases...
all they did was lucked out into getting one acting gig that almost anybody could do.
Or one hit single.
Yeah.
I just want to recap what we have seen this past week. And then you people can evaluate it how you want. We have had Kanye West come out with a song called Heil Hitler. We have had the trial of Sean Diddy Combs begin, and his ex-girlfriend testifying for multiple days in graphic detail about what was done to her. We have had Gerard Depardieu over in France finally get some kind of a sentence or a penalty or punishment for decades of him being a lecherous piece of garbage. But he still only got a suspended sentence for, I believe, 18 months.
Ridiculous for all the bullshit he pulled.
And then honestly, the worst this week might have been this bullshit with the Menendez brothers.
Oh, okay, we're going to re-sentence them. What? Why?
They admit now. They go into court and admit, yes, we killed our parents. Kyle, this is a direct quote, said, I made a mockery of the justice system. Basically, by lying all these years,
Yeah.
not admitting to the fact that he and his brother killed their parents. Whatever the parents did could have been, they might have deserved it, but that's not for them to decide. Their reward for finally admitting they're murderers, now they're eligible for parole and will probably be on the street in the next few months. So you tell me why.
Where's justice?
You tell me how I'm supposed to feel good about life with those 4 examples that I just gave you. This goes beyond voting on Dumbass of the Week.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just not a good situation.
We need to stop worshiping these people.
One of the worst things is how Combs' lawyers have him look dressing in a cardigan a la Mr. Rogers. Trying to make him look weak and feeble. Come on.
Does that shock me?
No. You're trying to play the sympathy. No, the guy is a scumbag.
And of course, more and more will come out on that in the coming weeks. I find it interesting. I never heard a follow-up on this, but I find it interesting that a key witness disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
Did that witness ever show back up?
Not that I've heard.
Did anybody talk to the Clintons? Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
The Clintons or the Combs, or are they one and the same?
All right, so I don't want to end on this downer note. But I will say once again, stop believing in celebrities and their viewpoints on anything. Do your own research, read the books, read the material. You decide who to vote for. Show up at your local government's city council meetings. You do the work. You make the effort. Don't let Whoopi Goldberg and Rosie O'Donnell and these morons that we just mentioned decide the fate of the free world.
Use your brains. Don't flush your way down the toilet.
You had to say that, didn't you? You had to say that to lead into my little story to end things up.
You gave me a glimmer of... You gave me one tiny little thing, and I've been running with it the whole time. I have no idea what you're going to say.
I'm going to end this weekend edition with a tale of woe from the maestro. Just, again, another example of why I hate humanity. It involves a very embarrassing moment for me. Now, first off, I'm going to start off with a PSA. We want everybody, in one way or another, get screened for colon cancer. Whether it's getting a colonoscopy or, like me,
pooping in a box.
Get your Cologuard. So yes, I had to poop in a box this week. And
your version of Frances McDormand.
Except I'm not winning Oscars. Nobody's giving me an Oscar for what I had to do this morning. They didn't stick their hands into the bathroom and go, here you go, man. Here's your gold statuette. Now, you can take your choice. Okay? I don't want anybody shoving anything up my butt. Sorry. And I don't really have, a way home. I don't want to walk around drugged up with an Uber. But I just don't want to do that. So I do the Cologuard thing. So I did it this morning. It's embarrassing enough as it is. Again, make your choice. Is somebody going to shove something up your butt, or are you going to poop in a box? So this is the second time I've had to do this. You do it every 3 years. So I did it this morning. Very uncomfortable, but it got finished. It got done. I did everything I needed to do to prepare it, sealed the box up. So Now you can, if you trust UPS to come pick it up, do you really want to leave a box of poop sitting on the front porch for hours, hoping that UPS will come pick it up? I'd say no, I will go down to the local UPS store immediately to get this out of my house.
I don't want it stinking up my
I
porch.
want it out. And yeah, and by the way, all those COVID masks that you thought you weren't going to need anymore, if you do Cologuard, you need a COVID mask. You have to have that sucker slapped on your face because otherwise you are going to be gagging for hours. So I get my box, I put it in a bag, I take it to the local UPS store. Okay? This is where I have my Seinfeld moment. So it's bad enough that I've had to immediately pack this up, literally pack this shit up, and head out to the UPS store. You know? Haven't shaved, haven't showered, but I want it out. I want it gone. So I get to the UPS store. It doesn't look like the parking lot's very full. So I pull the car up, lock the car, carry my bag in, one person ahead of me. Now I will say this about our local UPS store. It's a shithole. No pun intended. I mean, there are packages all over the floor.
Yeah.
It's just, it's chaotic. It's a disaster. But I'm like, okay, one person ahead of me. We'll just wait. Because eventually I'm going to have to go up there and they're going to look at the box and they're going to know what it is. And again, I have to go through this every 3 years.
God forbid, why would you make it unrecognizable?
Yeah. Yeah, those Cologuard boxes have a very distinctive shape and look. Blue and white. Everybody knows what it is. But here's where I literally almost lost it. All I got is one person ahead of me. And then all I got to do is drop the box off. No payment.
Yep, need to make sure this gets out. Thank you. Have a nice day.
There's this young, and I'm not trying to stereotype, I'm just trying to give you detail, a young Oriental woman ahead of me. And she is so bubbly and gregarious. She's talking to the UPS woman behind the counter. Oh, my friend, I need to send this to my friend. Oh, my God, and I don't know what I should do. Should I send it overnight? Should I send it 2 or 3 days? What do you think? Oh, she's such a card. She's such a character. I can't wait to get this to her. What do you think? And I'm like, oh, my living, breathing fucking God.
I'm charging you the most expensive effing package I can
And
give
the UPS woman is trying to, well, do you really need to get it there overnight, or do you want to save a little money and we'll go 2 or 3 days? She said, oh, that's fine. Oh, because she's such a funny girl. I love her so much. I haven't seen her so long. And I'm like, oh, my living, breathing God.
Make a fucking decision.
And so the woman says, here's a 3-day envelope, a 2-3-day envelope. And she's, well, I don't have any info. What do I need to fill out? What do I need to do?
Put her fucking name and address on it.
At this point in time, I am not ashamed to say I was about ready to rip my box open and dump the shit on this woman's head. Hope you enjoy my stool sample, bitch. Because you've just ruined my afternoon, making me wait behind you for 20 minutes with my box of poop.
20 minutes for her to make a fucking decision.
Luckily, another woman came out from the back and saw what I had, and she says, I can take it. I won't even run you through. I will take care of it. I'll scan it later. Because she could tell. I was probably beet red and about ready to explode. And she said, give me the box. Give me the box. I can't give you a receipt, but give me the box and I'll process it. And I said, thank you.
You made my day.
I gave the evil Asian, happy, sunny, joy woman the stink eye before I literally gave her a stink eye.
That would have cost her the pink eye.
Then I walk out and I look to my right and I see Wingstop. And I go, well, probably good thing I didn't have that last night before I had to do my sample. But it's like George Costanza says, people, we're living in a society. Have some consideration for the person behind you holding a box of poop. Don't let them suffer and humiliate themselves any more than they have to. Because you're all giggly, my family, I can't wait to send this package to my
Nobody
friend.
else cares.
This is the society we live in now. Is everybody is so focused on themselves because of selfies and Facebook.
The simplicity of the soup Nazi is... You long for that. You go, you place your order, you step aside and pay and wait.
Yep.
Don't engage.
Yep.
Stick to the task at hand.
There's no bread. Just move along. Just move along. You want bread? No soup for you. 2 years. Seinfeld is brilliant. I'm telling you. And I'm surprised on those boxes they don't put Yoba Goya. No.
Treat the family to a tasty brown treat.
I am not an animal. And that's what you think when you're waiting in line with the box of poop. Is you're like, I am an animal. I am sitting here with a box of my own excrement.
If you don't hurry up, you're going to get a second harvest right here, lady.
No, those aren't Hershey's Kisses. He's your Uncle Dave.
He's your Uncle Kev.
I hope I gave you something to laugh about to get us over all the depressing, disgusting depravity from
everybody in Hollywood land.
Yes. But we'll do this all again. Not the poop story.
No.
No, every 3 years. Every 3 years. If I had to do that every week, literally, I would hang myself.
No, we will be back here next Saturday morning to get you through yet another miserable experience.
Then, of course, don't forget the sports edition, dropping every Thursday morning. Same places where you find the weekend edition. But until then, say goodnight to the kids, Dave.
Good night to the kids, Dave.